This Thursday night football props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code SGPN on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app and use promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the underdog, pick 'em in college or NFL, and win up to 20x in one game. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today.
This is Randy Cross. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan. Real money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
I'm wearing this beautiful. I'm gonna stand up and show everyone.
Wow.
YouTube.com/sports gambling podcast. Wearing a classic. No, you can't buy it. It's being worn for protection. I'm not gonna get hurt today, Sean.
Oh, wow. Okay. So still not all in on the Giants. Of course, last night on the college football picks podcast, great episode. You cleared your locker of all your Virginia Tech Hokies gear, throwing it out.
Not all of it.
Essentially,
I left
somehow found its way back in the locker.
I left Seth Greenberg in there. I realized Michael Vick had nothing to do with it, as with Kevin Jones, who also donned the 25 jersey, which is of course some level of metaphorical significance as a player from special teams wears it every week nowadays. But who can tell? Can't see the program beneath all the layers of shit. Family.
Oh man,
might need some fucking family.
Yes, we got our family. We're going to be joined here in a few minutes by Lante and Terrell from the NFL Gambling Podcast, NBA Gambling Podcast. Going to be talking some Thursday night props, some first touchdown bets, some Degen Parlays. But before we do that, we got to get to this week's Real Men of Degen.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about my heater.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degen. Real Men of Degen. We salute you.
Unidentified Buffalo fan. That's right. Unidentified Buffalo Bills fan was found naked and covered in human excrement. He was discovered in a construction site hole near the Buffalo Bills home opener on Sunday. Apparently, the member of Bills Mafia fell 30 to 40 feet, sustained only a cut on his forehead. But wait, he was, like we said, covered in human excrement. He admitted to being under the influence of drugs and alcohol, including LSD, cocaine, and marijuana. Once the rescue team arrived on the scene, it took approximately 20 minutes to get the fan out of the hole and to Erie County Medical Center.
Rescues out of holes are always tough. Hold on, let me do it. Hey, what's up, bro? Did someone say Buffaloes? Hey, I'm here for the picnic.
It's the Colorado Buffs fan here, showing up for the football picnic.
It's probably harder to recognize me without my tie dye, but I still got Prime's glasses.
We need to get you some bongo drums for whatever you're going to. Hey, don't forget, we're going to do a pregame drum circle before the Buffs kick off against Oregon.
You want to play some sack? You want to feel my sack?
Dying to go
really
up to
nice.
Oregon.
Yeah, I have a nice sack. It feels good. It balances nice off the foot.
Yeah. So if you missed, Kramer also debuted his guy who loves football and hacky sack, the Colorado Buffs.
Just the classic resident of Boulder, I would say. Yeah, it's the elevation. It's not the medicinal effects.
Kramer, before we get to our favorite props for Thursday night.
Yes.
Oh man, we got a brand new sponsor. Love to hear this. Proud to announce Little Caesars Pizza signing on to the Sports Gambling Podcast. Love pizza. Love Little Caesars. Think how much crazy bread you've eaten in your life. It is the perfect Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. I mean, we spend 8 to 12 hours sitting in front of God's eye. I have personally enjoyed the pretzel crust with pepperoni.
Get Patty C over here right now.
Patty C. Wait till he enjoys the Little Caesars wings.
They call him the Little Caesars vacuum.
He vacuums
Not very
it up.
creative.
Love Little Caesars. I don't know why. Pretzel bread, pretzel crust. Why did it take so long for that to get introduced? Little Caesars is on top of it. The pretzel crust, you can get pretzel crust with pizza sauce, $7.99. Are you kidding me? What a deal. They even have calzones, the 4-quarter calzone, and they're allowed to say that because they are the official pizza sponsor of the NFL, the official pizza sponsor of the Sports Gambling Podcast. Love Little Caesars. Cannot wait. Sunday cannot come soon enough. Oh man, pretzel crust with wings. It is just going to be awesome.
One step closer to our commissioner.
Yes.
Maybe we can only be so lucky to share some Little Caesars with the commissioner.
That would be the dream. Toasting
share a slice,
sharing some crazy bread with Commissioner Roger Goodell. Again, love me the pizza crust, the pretzel crust. It's just delicious. And if you haven't had Little Caesars in a while, they do have delivery as well. So check out Little Caesars. Joining us on the line, as we mentioned before. First up, we got Terrell Furman. What's happening, Terrell?
What's going on, fellas? And
okay,
here
Terrell's
we are.
mic's not on.
Oh yeah, yes.
There
What?
you go.
What's up, Terrell?
I'm ready for week one. We
So
are
now this is
Love
your
you too, bro.
Now this is your bit because Giants fans haven't acknowledged the first 2 weeks. Although you guys won week 2, so nothing to be upset about, right?
No, week 2 didn't exist. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm still in week 1, but that was preseason week 5 for me, where we had, half of our team injured, and so we just started trotting out backups for the end of the game, and we just so happened to come out and win. But now I'm ready for week 1, real football, with a real football team that goes in there with real expectation and actually tries to win a real game.
We need to bring our next guest on so I can debut my theory about this to 2 fellow Giants fans.
Yes, we are infected with Giants fans on this episode. Joining us as well, Mr. Lonte Smith, fellow Giants fan. Lonte, what level of denial are you in regarding the Giants season?
Listen, man, I haven't probably liked the Giants team since probably like 08, 09.
Boo.
I'm not even gonna lie
It's
to
not
you.
real.
Not even gonna lie to you. But this coaching staff, the front office did a good job with Dayball, Kafka. So I'm borderline. I didn't like what I saw in the first 2 weeks, but again, maybe it's something to build on from that second half. So that's what I'm going to go with right now.
I will say, knowing that they had packed for 2 weeks, obviously culture building trip last year, that London trip, the Packers game, very meaningful. Mm-hmm. Knowing that they had packed for 2 games, I wonder if they left the good plays for the Niners game, and then they didn't realize the Cardinals were going to show up for a fight. So at halftime, as Sterling Shepard said, they had to man to man say, we are going to play for one another. And they had that bonding moment. Sure, it happened in game 1 when that field goal was missed by the Tennessee Titans last year, but maybe it happened this year, much like in 2007, week 3, when they're already 0-2 down to the Washington Redskins in a goal line stand on 3rd and 4th down, catapults them on a run to eventually go on and beat the best team in the history of the NFL, the 2007 18-1 New England Patriots.
Second best team in history of NFL.
Could it have been a moment like that changed the tide of the season? Now they stay out west and they play the best team in the NFC. No one is possibly picking them to win this game as a 10.5 point favorite without Saquon Barkley.
Well, they're a 10.5 point dog, right?
Without Saquon Barkley.
I know you might want some alt action on the New York Giants.
I bring it all the way around to ask fellow, well, maybe it sounds like one at least, fellow degenerate fan who has been through some dark times that included Joe Judge getting wet and recovering balls on the grass. Is Brian Dable now calling the plays? Is that what fixed everything in the second half? Terrell, say yes.
I will say that I think that me getting up and leaving the sports book before the end of the first quarter was really the thing that catapulted them in the second half to be able to win that game. If I stayed in the sports book and I continued to watch the game, they would have lost. I know it for a fact.
Okay.
And now, unfortunately, I can't watch another Giants game all year. And I hate to say it, but I can't watch another game all year. So
what will you be doing on Thursday night? You're just gonna get some cardio in, hang out at the pad, watch a movie. What's the plan? Are you allowed to follow on Gamecast?
So my original plan was to watch Game 3 of the WNBA playoffs.
Oh wow!
And then tonight, both teams swept the other team, so there's not going to be a Game 3. So I will probably end up somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I'll get high or something. Just anything but watching the game.
Ain't smoking my weed.
Hey, you can multitask.
Kramer, I think, have we talked about the show, your live bet on the Giants that you said you completely forgot?
I'll explain this to everyone. But real quick, I do want to hear Lante's. Lante, is that Brian Dable now calling the play? Surely you've been in the deep Reddit streets and you've heard this rumor.
Absolutely. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I don't believe that. I think Dayball is the sole mind behind the whole offense, and Kafka just takes the credit. I believe that from year one.
That's leadership.
I'm impressed because if this was happening to the Philadelphia Eagles, Brian Dable would not be labeled the savior. Brian Dable would be catching an incredible amount of heat.
Yeah, but you see what that Bills offense looks like without him, though.
Well, no, they did win 38-10 over the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, he played a JV team, man.
Well, you guys played the Cardinals and barely. I don't know. There's a ton of room to talk.
Are you in the rear view? Is that the rear view?
Sean's getting in fender benders over here.
I'm just saying, if Nick Sirianni lost 40-0 on Sunday Night Football, no one would be calling for him to take over play calling. They would be at the stadium.
No one's
with
calling
torches and
no one's calling for it. Let me be clear. People are
okay.
speculating because he was holding the play sheet closer to his mouth on a more regular basis, that maybe he was getting a little bit more hands-on with the play call in the second half, which coincidentally, Dan Jones looked like a big dick, third-legged motherfucker. Vanilla Vic came out big. I will say I was really angry at football after week 1. Didn't do a lot of best ball roster banning, but week 2,
you came back.
So much. I mean, CJ Stroud, check. Ryan Tannehill, check. Dan Jones, 3 highest owned quarterbacks. They all had monster weeks.
I mean, my George Pickens shares through the roof.
You were going to bring up the bet where
yes, you.
All right, so here's what happened. Everyone has been there before, where obviously I've had a number of seasons in a row where I've been optimistic about what turned to be a bunch of shit. So after a game where it was 40-0. And then a half where they were playing one of the worst teams maybe in the past 5 years, and they were down 20-0. I was having dark thoughts, and obviously one of the ways that you release dark thoughts is you log into your account and you chase like a motherfucker.
Practice responsible gambling.
Of course, yeah. You're not. I know I wasn't supposed to do it, but as you know, Sean, I'm on a little bit of a heater.
Yes, you are.
The account's pretty flush, and I log into the live betting, and I see that the Giants are plus 550, and I go, "That's fun." This is after they scored the touchdown in the first and coming out of the half, so I'm feeling a little bit good,
starting to believe again,
but still also like fuck everything. And so I do one of those fuck everything moments, which is, well, I'm either going to really hate this fucking day or I'm going to have a great fucking day. And so I put a nice sizable, I would say a 2-unit NFL side bet on the money line. And then the Cardinals scored like fucking a hot night through butter. And I had this moment where I think I stormed out of the office for a moment. I stood outside and I was like, God damn it. And all my bets were going well. And I was just having so I walked back inside, and for whatever reason, I spaced on everything. I just spaced on everything. Like watching Denver lose that game, just everything kind of just faded to black. I was thinking about a whole bunch of other shit I had to do. And we come back, we do the show that night. Still hadn't thought about it. And after the show, I'm doing inventory. I'm logging into account so I can get my first touchdown bets down. And I go, whoa. where'd all this money come from? Holy shit. And I think I just let out a bellowing laughter in the studio. And yeah, just found, as Malcolm would say, I found a bag of cash on the street.
I would like the people to know.
Fucking
I would like
delightful
people to
throw.
know Ryan has a large unit size, so 2 units.
I appreciate that.
I mean,
listen,
hey,
I'll
you
say
lose 5K
this.
playing blackjack. I know the unit size is pretty big.
I'll say this. This turned out to be a pretty good weekend. You know, the locks are going well. College football swept it. NFL swept it. Close your eyes, swept it. This was one of the best gambling weekends, and of course, it was bookend by a 17-1 first touchdown and a 35-1 first touchdown.
I saw that.
Well, let's just. Some Bitcoin have entered the situation. I feel fucking great, Sean. I withdrew a half Bitcoin this morning.
No, well, there you go. That is a start to a great weekend.
Put my feet up. Hello.
I'll be adding
I'm
some
feeling
stuff on the invoice this month.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be able to slip something through there, Lante. All right, here we go. Talking about Thursday night football. Of course, Underdog Fantasy got these sweet pick'ems where you go higher, lower on your favorite player fantasy stats. And of course, use that promo code SGPN, 100% deposit bonus up to $100 when you use the promo code SGPN. If you go 5 for 5, you can win 20x. We're going to each give out our favorite 3 here. Kramer, you do have the hot hand. What
I
is
didn't
your
even
first?
mention. I did hit a 5. I hit one of those too. I mean, I'm just out of control right now. I hit a $25 one. So let's go.
That's 500.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a fire hose, just firing at my face. Just nothing but winners. Just someone find something. Photoshop.
That is a disgusting act.
All right,
That was crazy. That was crazy.
I will lead off with. Sean's caught shit for this before, so hopefully the D-gens can sympathize with us. But Graham Gano to not get more than 6 points in a game does not happen very often. Obviously, it happened in week 1. There was bad weather.
How many did he have in week 1?
0 points.
No,
Obviously, Sean. You're making jokes.
No,
oh, okay.
I would never make
that
jokes.
feels like. I mean,
what about week 2? How do you do week 2?
Low for even you. 7 points.
Okay.
Only 1 field goal in there. You look back to last year. How many times does he not go over this number? 4. So feels like we're getting a little bit of discount for the best kicker in the National Football League and one of the team captains. Obviously, the 49ers have a great defense. I do think that Dable and Kafka will have the offense moving, so they'll be in the scoring zone. I think they'll have a hard time with the touchdowns. Lots of field goals. Graham Gano, big game. Big game. This number, you know what this number made me think of when I looked at it on Underdog Fantasy? Not sure if they're watching the games. We got to check with them. I'm not sure they're watching the games.
Terrell, what do you got? First Underdog pick'em.
Underdog pick'em. We're going with Dan Jones higher, 37.5 rushing yards. Between Mark Lewinsky and Evan Neal, he's going to be running for his life. And I don't know what version of Andrew Thomas we're going to get out there. Honestly, there's not going to be a design run for him in this game. I'm calling it. He's not going to have a design run. Every single run is going to be him literally running for his life and making 10 yards happen on a 3rd and 10 and extending the drive for us and keeping us down the field. This man can run and extend plays. He's not afraid to get the opportunity. And no Saquon Barkley. I mean, this is clear cut, obvious. Dan Jones is going to have a great day on the ground. And I would tempt you with Dan Jones to lead the game in rushing. I don't have a price on it yet. But if they game plan for Christian McCaffrey and they take Christian McCaffrey out the game, it's so much easier for him to lead that game in rushing.
What do you think that would be, Ryan? Like 6-1?
Are we sure it's not out yet? Let me look.
Well, and one note, because I do think I was going back and forth on playing Dan Jones rushing yards because
I'm also on it, by the way.
Okay. 49ers are really, yeah. Okay. 49ers are really good at defending the quarterback run. They were like one of the best last year. I think what you have going for you to Terrell's point is that he's going to get a ton of attempts. You can hit this. Like they averaged 3.4 yards per carry to the quarterback last year. So even if you can get that on 11, 12 carries, which I think he will have, and if you get rid of Saquon Barkley in the short passing game, a lot of that, like when he's looking to scramble instead of dumping it off to Saquon, he's gonna just use his legs himself. So I think you guys are on the right side there with the over.
I guess I would disagree with Terrell. I think there's going to be some design stuff.
Yeah, I think there will be a few.
I don't know how else. I mean, they require it. I think without Barkley.
So wait, Lante, did you say you're also in on the rushing yards?
Absolutely.
Nice. What are you worried at all? Because the handicap normally is teams who play zone like San Francisco, they're better at the QB scrambles because they're looking at the quarterback the whole time, sitting in that zone. Man, they're turning and running. It's usually better for the QB run. Are you worried about that?
Yeah, I am. But again, I mean, I think Daniel Jones has enough elusiveness to make at least one guy miss. And I think the attempts are going to be like enormous to Rail's point. I mean, he's going to be running for his life. I mean, they have a San Francisco number one pass rush grade so far in the season. So the way Dallas killed our offensive line, I'm pretty sure San Francisco saw that film and probably going to try to replicate that. So got to have some Daniel Jones design runs. I think he's going to, improv stuff. So I think he gets it off sheer volume alone.
Yeah, noted.
He's had 11 carries a game. I mean, he's had 22 carries.
I think just because of the carries to Lante and your point.
Well, you know what it is. Not to step on what you're about to say. I think what it is that if you look at the preseason props for Dan Jones, both his rushing touchdowns, which was 4.5, and like he already has one called back, he would be at 2, and his rushing yards seemed a little bit disrespectful. And back to the conversation of it, if Justin Fields doesn't have an outlier year, which it seems like he's trying to not have an outlier year, Dan Jones is as live as anyone to run the ball. I mean, even Lamar looking to not run the ball as much. So yeah, I don't know. It does seem like he's gonna, without Saquon there to shoulder all the carries. Like, how does he not get to 15 carries?
Yeah. And I was just going to point out Stafford had 4 carries for 17 yards, and he's not a guy who really scrambles a bunch. So there could be some opportunities in this year of the defense.
Did you see that okey doke that Dan Jones threw on the linebacker in Arizona?
I did see that.
He said, as CJ would call it, he took a hard white angle on Dan Jones and he took the speed to the sideline. That felt like a free square. That felt as easy as Kenny Pickett over a half yard on Monday Night Football.
Christian McCaffrey, I'm going higher, 79.5 rushing yards. Kramer, you gave it out last week. That was an easy smash. I think Christian McCaffrey is just going to get a ton of carries. He's had 2 games, 268 yards. Like I just don't see
where are they coming up with these numbers.
I think they adjusted they adjusted I think like 14 yards from last week. I still think this is too low. There was all these theories of like, oh, Elijah Mitchell, they're going to save him for the postseason and all this other stuff. It doesn't seem to be true at all. He's getting 20 carries a game, and the guy is breaking loose. He's tough to tackle. James Conner, 23 for 106 last week against the Giants. I think Christian McCaffrey gets that. So yeah, give me higher 79.5.
A lot of that happened before the locker room moment.
Yes,
at halftime. So it's worth noting. You might not want to include the stats from before that half.
Oh,
so
okay.
Only the last half of, much like the Trevor Lawrence math, only the last half of the game matters.
Kramer, what do you got next?
I'm giving out 2. So I have Graham Gano higher and Dan Jones higher.
And the Dan Jones rushing yards. Terrell, what do you got? What's your next one?
For my next one, I mean, it's easy. I'm fading the Giants and what we do bad, and we can't guard the tight end, man.
Nah, Kittle,
we can't guard
that
the tight
bastard.
End. George Kittle higher than 47.5 receiving yards. I still have nightmares of Jason Witten carving up this Giants defense.
Oh man.
I just know what good tight ends do to us, and it's nasty. Like, it's really nasty. So if Kittle came out here and had some crazy type of 100 yard, not 100 catch. Oh my gosh,
it's possible.
100 yard,
it's possible, probably.
yeah. I mean, against us, it is possible.
Him.
Yeah, Ertz was getting loose. So wait, sorry, did you say did you go receptions or yards?
I went yards. So
okay.
Give me over the 47.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, he's been quiet. I wouldn't be shocked if he shakes loose there. Lante, what's your next one?
Yeah, we got a lot of positivity, so I'm going to go negative here. I'm going to go under 230.5 for Brock Purdy. I think it's too high, to be honest. I mean, he had 220 versus Pittsburgh, 29 attempts. He had 208 versus the Rams, and I think both of those were similar game scripts. I mean, CMC got back-to-back 20-plus carry games. And, I mean, San Francisco, if you dig a little bit into their metrics, I mean, they had 17th in passing grade, which is pretty much average, but their pass blocking is not good. And one thing that the Giants that I do like about our Giant squad is the front four. I love the front four. I love the rotation coming in. I think Dexter Lawrence, Thibodeau, I think those guys will be able to at least knock him off of his comfort level. And he's not hitting a deep ball. He missed like Jawan Jennings.
And
he
had a couple he sailed.
Yeah, so he's missing on those, and I think if we can get some pressure on him and collapse that pocket a bit, maybe make him run a little bit more, I think this sky's under. I would be surprised if he gets to 220, to be honest.
I will say it was very, again, not to say they were saving the good plays for the Niners, but it was strange how much they just sat back in some rush 4 zone against the Cardinals. Wink Martindale, guy loves the blitz, was just sitting back, playing man coverage and rushing 4. It was very strange. So I've gotten to the point now where within the last 30 minutes, I've envisioned just all these exotic plays on offense and defense that are just.
I pray to God he doesn't blitz these guys.
Well, not only are these plays going to work against the Niners, they play the Dolphins in a couple weeks, so it's a great way to practice plays against this offensive scheme. So Wink's playing chess, not checkers.
4D chess with Wink Martindale.
Maybe 5D. I don't know. You saw those sunglasses.
I'm also taking a lower on Brock Purdy, but I'm going. I like your yards angle. I'm going completions.
Yeah,
Underdog has his completions set at 20 in 11 career starts. Kramer, how many times has he gone above 20 completions?
It's probably not as many as you'd think. I think he had a lot of like big. I'll say 3.
Twice.
Okay.
Damn.
Twice. One was, of course, the game the Eagles knocked him out. But
oh wow.
Even look at the playoffs. Like this season, 17, 19, 15. Okay, last year against the Raiders, that was a crazy shootout in that dome. He got to 22. He barely got over. Then 15, 17, 16. Same thing. That crazy Miami game. Yeah, it got 20. He got 25. But for the most part, he's just dinking and dunking. And Lante pointed it out. Even though they beat the Rams, they had some opportunities, and he was just sailing some balls. Like that was the Brock Purdy elbow injury that I thought we would see even against Pittsburgh. But yeah, I think lower 20 completions is a good way to play it. Kramer, what about you? Third one. What do you got?
I'm on Brock Purdy.
Okay.
And I'm higher rushing yards.
Yeah.
I do think that Wink will always be susceptible to the quarterback running. It's the one thing he will often not account for in his scheme because he expects his rush to get there. So I think this probably could get popped in one play. I think Purdy's willing to run at times. We'll be just discussing first touchdown later, but he certainly fits the model when it comes to anytime scoring as well. So Brock Purdy to go higher than 8.5 rushing yards again felt like a good place
all it
to
takes
start.
is just one blitz and him to scramble
again,
and pick up a first down.
The center of the field is the Giants' weakness. Even with Okereke, the linebacker, like it's just the middle of the field has always been a weakness. It's going to be a weakness, and Wink he doesn't seem to care about the quarterback getting loose. And when you're playing man, like as you mentioned earlier, when you're playing zone, a little easier, but when you're playing man, like they'll almost certainly be doing, he'll get loose a couple times.
Terrell, what do you got?
Third, I am going with Darius Slayton, 32.5 higher rushing and receiving yards.
It was funny. We were talking about this in the office. I think they're offering 32.5 receiving yards and then also 32.5 rushing and receiving.
Why
yards.
would I not take
You
it?
may as well. And
Why
Kramer
would
goes,
I not?
Look out. You don't want to get screwed by like one negative 1 yard carry.
I can see that negative yard reverse that he's going to have.
That would be horrible where you had 36 receiving yards and then some like end around that loses 5 yards. Oh man,
So brutal.
that
would-
reminds me of the crazy kneel downs in the Super Bowl that cost
I remember that.
Patrick Mahomes.
I remember that.
rushing
I had that.
and it wasn't just regular kneel down. He took it and ran backwards. That motherfucker. So
I
pissed.
remember that.
So why do you like Slayton here?
All right, so Slayton, when you look at this and you try to make sense of the backfield, I think the only thing you can make, not the backfield, but the wide receiver room, the only thing you can make sense of is Darius Slayton is a part of it. He's clearly outpacing all the wide receivers in terms of snaps. He had 67% snaps in week 1, and that was a little. everybody got snaps because we were getting destroyed. But then you come back week 2 and he has 82% of snaps. And so it's telling me he's clear cut. They want him on the field a bunch of the times, whether it is in run blocking, whether it is going out and running a deep route, or just the variety of different routes he can run. They like him on the field. And so if you're telling me he's going to be on the field for as much and Dan Jones spreads the ball as consistently as he does, then 32.5 seems like a pretty good number for him to get, even though it is against a really stout defense in the 49ers. So yeah, I'm gonna take my chance. I think he can get on one deep ball catch and cash the prop, and we could be done with it.
And I think if you look at some of the alignments, if you're of the mindset that maybe Hyatt is going to take snaps away from Slayton, what they were actually doing is putting Slayton and Waller on one side and essentially making them pick that side and putting Hyatt on the other side. So I do think that Slayton could, like Hyatt kind of having a game, all of a sudden people maybe keeping a bit of attention on him. That could balance back out to where Slayton is the guy who, and by the way, everyone is complimenting him on his route running. He made that amazing catch that he almost certainly drops in years prior. It didn't count as a catch because he was out of bounds, but I mean, he's a changed man and no one talks about it, but he's the Jordy Nelson to Dan Jones being Aaron Rodgers in this equation. They are BFFs. He's Dan Jones' personal Ferrari.
Lante, what's your last one here?
Yes, I'm gonna go with Deebo Samuel over 73.5 rushing receiving yards. I think Kramer hit on it whenever he was talking about the blitzing. I don't want the Giants to blitz. I mean, I do for this bet, but just for my sanity, I don't want to see Deebo Samuel running and Ayuk running slants, because if you notice, when Deebo Samuel gets the ball, it's something short. It's never deep. So a lot of yards after the catch. And I think those blitzes will basically coincide with this. I mean, he's had 5 catches, on 7 targets for 55 yards versus Pittsburgh, 6 catches on 9 targets for 63 yards versus the Rams, 5 rushes for 36 yards versus the Rams. So yeah, 101 total on the Rams. And that game script is somewhat of what I think is going to happen here. Giants bottom 5 in coverage grade. So if you add that in with the blitz rate that Wink is probably going to throw at him, I think we see Deebo run wild here, even on some jet sweeps. And, I think Ayuk is a little bit banged up. I know he left the game, and I know he came back, but still something to monitor, too, throughout the week.
Yeah, I got a Ayuk banged up angle for the first touchdowns. For me, and yeah, I see your angle there. Kramer and I are still deciding. Did we trade Deebo in our fantasy league?
There's an offer on the table. But I would say this is, as a fan of the Giants, one of the areas we haven't talked about as being dreadful is the fact that they're starting 2 rookie corners and they've moved Adoree into the slot. This is going to be the test.
The slot.
And in my fan brain, Adoree being in the slot where I know they like to operate Ayuk a lot out of, I wonder if that becomes a slight advantage to the Giants if he's banged up. And then it just becomes, let's see if these rookie corners can hold up, because Debo's a man. And you got to want to tackle Deebo. You got to want to come up and hit that man. He'll test your determination for sure.
I think for me, I think the 49ers look to shut down one guy in the passing game, Darren Waller. I'm going Darren Waller lower, 46.5 receiving yards. San Francisco has led up 19 yards to tight ends in 2 games. I think he's just going to be odd man out here. I think they're going to force the Giants to beat them on the outside with the receivers, with Hyatt, maybe Slayton. I just don't see them letting, Afunga is over the middle there. I just don't see Darren Waller having a big game. So give me lower, 46.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
I like his receptions.
You like his receptions?
Yeah, I like his receptions. I mean, because if you look at it, if they're going to be the pass rusher is going to get there, he's going to need an outlet. Saquon's not there to check down too.
Oh, so maybe some dump off stuff.
Yeah, right over the middle to Waller. Now we both can win. He can go 5 for 22.
Yeah, something like real short A-dot. All right. Yeah. Hey, let's what do we got coming up next? Ooh, the Degen Parlay. That's always fun. Hey, have you guys signed up with DraftKings Sportsbook yet? If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Let's get some NFL music. Perfect time to sign up, get involved. Download that DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the promo code SGP. Bet $5. Get $200 instantly in bonus bets. It's the NFL. It's the National Football League. DraftKings is great. We're gonna carve up a same game parlay, aka SGPN. SGP. I got one. I'm sitting on 100 to 1. That dreams come true on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Football's more fun when you're in on the action. That's what the script says. But you know that as a listener to the Sports Gambling Podcast, that sweat, that energy coursing through your veins. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instant in bonus bets only on the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Code SGP. The crown is yours. Imagine hitting a massive bet and then buying yourself a giant crown.
Let's go.
This might be the week. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. State-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Kramer, I'll tell you. What do you got?
All right. Well, I thought about being more conservative this week. Then I thought that's ridiculous. No one wants to hear a 12 to 1, 250 to 1, 3 items.
Oh wow!
Come at me.
3 items. Only 3. I also have 3.
Dan Jones anytime touchdown score.
Okay.
George Kittle 2 touchdowns. Giants win the game.
See, I love
250 to 1.
Oh my god, I do. I do love taking.
Oh my God!
You want to hear the price without the Giants money line?
What about Kittle 1 touchdown? I want to hear both those options.
So without the Giants, it drops down to 40 to 1. Lame. So obviously there's a little counter correlation bonus we're getting there.
Yeah.
If we drop it down to George Kittle's single touchdown, that's going to give you a 35 to 1 option.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
Yeah, that's
pretty
not even
lame.
It's not even that exciting. Terrell, what about you? What do you got cooking up parlay for the folks?
All right, here. I had to dabble around because I heard we were in the 3-figure territory. So we have a couple of options, but here are the 3 legs. Here are the 2 that are locked in. George Kittle, 100 receiving yards. Daniel Jones, 75 rushing yards.
Ooh.
Now we can throw Dan Jones anytime touchdown in there. That'll bring us at 120 to 1.
Yeah, that's the one.
Or we can throw in George Kittle anytime touchdown in there. And that'll bring us at 110 to 1.
Either one of those.
Which one's your favorite?
Kittle's the way to go.
Kittle?
Yeah, Kittle's the way to go.
We go Kittle at 110 to 1. So Kittle, 100 plus receiving yards and a touchdown. Dan Jones, 75 rushing yards, 110 to 1. Book it.
That might be just the best way to play this game. Because Kittle's going to score a touchdown.
Kittle is going to score a touchdown. Hey, real quick, we're talking parlays. Hopefully, I know I did for my parlay. I used the parlay optimizer over at Hall of Fame Bets. Again, stop digging around in Pro Football Reference, trying to track down and remember the last time someone hit a touchdown. It's great for sorting. They immediately, all you do is you give them a number like 78.5 rushing yards, and it'll tell you how many times they've hit it the last 10 yards. What's so funny, Ryan?
I'm just having this illustration in my head of you interacting with this AI.
Okay.
And you said it was great at sorting, and that just made me laugh. That's a funny joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
no, I'm trying.
So I'm laughing.
I'm trying to enjoy the joke with you.
I'm being animated. Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate your animation. I'm getting animated talking about Hall of Fame Bets. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. I feel we got a Hall of Fame parlay cooking up from Lante. What do you got for us, Lante?
Let's see what I got. I got a 200 to 1 shot. So I got Matt Breida.
Let's go.
Matt Breida, anytime touchdown score.
Real quick, I felt like you guys haven't chimed in yet. What do we think Breida's carry count's gonna be? Are we considering him the 3rd string running back? Lante, you like Matt Breida anytime touchdown, but what do you?
No, go ahead.
No, you guys. I haven't heard a lot about the Giants running back situation, which I think is pretty interesting for this game, fantasy props wise.
Yeah, I'm still waiting because apparently, according to Brian Daboll, Saquon heals fast and he's not ruling him out for Thursday.
I've ruled him out, but so Saquon's out. What are we doing? I mean,
I think we just split it
Chestnut
up between.
checkers.
I think we just split it up between Breida and Danny Jones. I don't think you try to do too much.
No one queued after that. No deep sleeper.
100% Brightwell's getting a carry or two.
Yeah,
that's true. And 100% they're gonna. Eric Gray maybe even gets a carry.
Okay,
yeah,
although he is their punt returner.
Some speed sweeps to Jalen Hyatt, I think.
Am I the only one who's noticed how cursed this running back Zoom was? We got Saquon on it. We got Nick Chubb. We got Austin Eckler. Is there one running back that was on the running back Unite Zoom that's healthy right now?
What was that Final Destination?
Miles Sanders couldn't get an invite. He was checking his inbox.
Yeah, Final Destination. I mean, it's man.
Who was on that Zoom that is a healthy running back right now? Derrick Henry?
Kareem Hunt's still.
Oh, Kareem Hunt's licking his chops. Yeah. Oh, no one wanted to sign me. Oh, now look, I got a little leverage. All right, so I interrupted you, Lante.
It's all good.
I like Matt Breida.
Yeah, Matt Breida, anytime touchdown score. I like Jalen Hyatt to anytime touchdown score. 40 plus receiving yards for Darius Slayton. I like that from Rail. 50 plus from Waller. 50 plus from George Kittle. So and that gets us to 200 to 1.
Oh my God, that is.
Hold on, hit the breaking. Jalen Hyatt by himself to score 2 touchdowns. Shout out to Lube Gaming in the chat, which by the way, Lube Gaming, slide into my DMs.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Well, we have some draft day stuff for him. So
okay.
We don't have your contact. We just know you as Lube Gaming, which isn't a great way to track someone down. Jalen Hyatt just to score 2 touchdowns. You wouldn't believe this. 110 to 1,
wow.
Sean.
That's crazy.
That's a classic price. That's a pre-pandemic price.
Yeah. Though they are they've got onto us a little bit with some of these
back when gas was $3 a gallon.
Oh my God. There are some they do seem to have figured out the 2 touchdown market. So would you consider now Matt Breida 19 to 1? That's not even that interesting.
What are you trying to do, something funny?
No, I was just taking a look at some of the 2 touchdown market to see if there was anything interesting. It's crazy to me that Jalen Hyatt is 110 to 1 when Eric Gray is 100 to 1 and some of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where the cute play would even come from. I do think that if you dive into the small sample size data with the Niners, they struggle against the slot. I kind of think Paris Campbell has been slowly playing himself out of a role. Hopefully Wandale Robinson's back. That would be a 2 cute play. Maybe Wandale 2 touchdowns, 75 to 1. They love him. And if he's ready to go, I have a feeling it's Paris Campbell that's out of here. You see Wandale running all those fun motions where he's looping back into the backfield and doing all sorts of option shit. That would be, if I was, I'm going to fire a lot of weird shit tomorrow night. All right?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to enjoy myself. Going to go for the ride. You only live once.
It's true.
And it should be worth noting that I have not seen any first touchdowns at this price. I have not seen any 30 to 1 anytime touchdown prices this season. Lawrence Cager, who, if you're not familiar, he's on the Giants.
Wait, are you doing your first touchdowns?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just explaining because this is an anytime thing.
Okay.
There's certain prices we just haven't seen yet. We've been complaining about it. They're not willing to go longer than 100 to 1. But Lawrence Cager, who in the anytime touchdown market is 30 to 1, he is Darren Waller's direct backup. And it's like if Waller's out of the game, maybe he's tired from shredding the defense and they're down in the goal line. Maybe he gets hurt like Sean is predicting. But 30 to 1 anytime touchdown for someone that would almost certainly have a couple schemed up plays in the playbook for him. He scored a touchdown last year in limited time. Again, I'm going to fire a lot of shit on Thursday because I'm having fun. Yeah. It's entertainment.
I just remember the story of the Bills fan when you said that. Okay, so I did have a like more traditional same game parlay, but I had a little audible here. No, it's
hey, nice plus 9,442.
It's essentially the same price, but I was looking at that 2 touchdown market. Someone jumped out at me. Give me rookie receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, Ronnie Bell.
I was just about to give that out.
I knew it.
To get 2 touchdowns, he's 90-1. He had 27 snaps when Ayuk went out. I think you get on Ronnie Bell anytime touchdown. Ronnie Bell first touchdown. Spoiler alert: Ronnie Bell 2 touchdowns. Just with the idea that these prices are pretty good. I think if Ayuk plays, they're still good. But if Ayuk's ruled out, these are going to drop tremendously. I think Ayuk's 50-50. It seems like a guy they wouldn't press on, but
that would be delightful. I'm not expecting him to be out, but if you're telling me he's going to miss time, I mean, whatever. I understand. It's for the Ronnie Bell narrative, but I hope he's out now. I mean,
no, Brandon Ayuk limited Tuesday, likely to be game time decision. So even if he plays, maybe he plays, but only like 50% of the snaps. I can't imagine if you're limited on Tuesday, they're going to have you go full speed on Thursday night. Like that to me seems a little crazy, right?
Love it.
All right. We are going to close it out with the patented first touchdown specials. Of course, shout out to Game Time. Maybe you're going to the Giants 49ers, or you want to go, you don't have tickets left. Luckily you got Game Time right in your pocket. All you got to do, download the Game Time app, use the promo code SGPN, and you get $20 off your first pair of tickets there. Game Time is great. You know, they had the Bills brought Takeo Spikes back to honor him at the Bills game, and Takeo Spikes left because his seat had an obstructed view. You'll never have that problem with Game Time because you get images of what your ticket looks like. You also get the low price guarantee, where if you can find tickets cheaper, same section, same row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Can't do it. Don't even try. So go to gametime.co or download the Game Time app, create an account, use code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Kramer, do you want to go last? I feel like since you have the hot hand, we need to build dramatic tension.
Yeah, I'll go last.
Okay. I'll go first. Ronnie Bell, I just laid out the case why I like him for 2 touchdowns. I got to try him first touchdown. DK currently has him at 40-1. Woo. I'll also take Brock Purdy. Had a rushing touchdown last week. He has 2 rushing touchdowns in his career, maybe 3 if you include the playoffs. I think I hit him in the playoffs at 5-1 anytime. 20-1 first touchdown. I'm on board with that. That feels like a great price. On the other side, Daniel Jones is a rushing quarterback. They're without Saquon Barkley. 15-1 is a very good value. I think they're overshading the Giants touchdowns, like them not to score a touchdown because of the spread being so big. But Daniel Jones 15-1 is a great price. And then I got to go backup tight end. Daniel Bellinger 55-1 could shake loose. Run a little 12 personnel near the goal line.
He'll be on the field if they're near the goal line. He was doing a lot of blocking, but he'll be on the field.
Yeah, it just takes one.
It only takes
55-1. Danny Jones 15-1. Brock Purdy 20-1. Ronnie, bring that bell 40-1. Lante, what do you got for your first touchdown picks?
Okay, I got Jawan Jennings 19-1. He's the only player outside of the, I guess, big 3 outside of Kittle.
Ooh, yeah.
Kittle, McCaffrey, Debo, and Ayuk. He's the only other one to catch a pass on the season. He was targeted 4 times on the season, 51 yards last week against the Rams. I think he'll be a big target. That was one of the players that Brock Purdy missed on a deep ball. So I think he has a shot to get an end zone a couple of times. So I was sprinkling him to score 2 as well. I'm gonna steal yours, Kramer. I know you were just talking about it, man. I like Wan'Dale Robinson, 40-1. Actually, was split a unit on him and Paris Campbell. Just he was limited today, so I don't know how efficient he'll be, but I do think him or Paris Campbell in that slot could cause some problems. So I like them both at 40-1. And I'm going to go with Kyle Juszczyk, 45-1, first touchdown scorer for the San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh, I'm always a sucker for the fullback dive.
Yep.
Getting involved there. Terrell, what about you? First touchdowns. What are we looking at?
All righty here. And I'm glad I was on this show because I get to give out another round of first touchdowns. Go to the NFL Gambling Podcast and you can catch my first round of first touchdowns. So extra first touchdowns for me. Alrighty here. Dan Jones. I had him in the other one. I got to keep him in this one. 15-1. You can't get away from it. I'm also taking Darren Waller at 20-1. This is just inflated because everybody thinks the Giants aren't going to score. This is crazy. He shouldn't be 20-1. I'm going to take the discount. Thank you, Darren Waller, 20-1. I do have Ronnie Bell 40-1 up here as well. He got the same amount of snaps as Juwan Jennings last week. So if you're getting the same workload and you're telling me that you have an opportunity to break one or get open or anything like that, I'm going to take the chance on him. 40-1 is really insane for somebody that's getting about the same, potentially the wide receiver 3 in that offense. So yeah, 40-1 on Ronnie Bell. And for my last one, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it because it's this show. No touchdown scorer, 130-1.
Yes. Shoot your shot. What would you? So we got like a 12-9 game.
Yep. I think it's like 12-9. It could be 9-6-3.
I'll say this. I think they should almost price Thursday night games no touchdown differently, because I think if there's any day of the week or any primetime game for this, it's got to be Thursday night. It happened last year.
We got one last year with the
then it almost happened again, like back-to-back nights, back-to-back Thursdays.
Oh, maybe, yeah, because it was. I think you're right. The following Thursday, everyone's like, "Oh, we should bet it again," and it ran pretty late. I mean, even that Panthers Saints, it was a while. Anytime you're sweating the first touchdown in the third quarter, it gets a little exciting. But yeah, the Broncos Colts no touchdown was crazy. Also because they went into overtime.
Right.
So you had almost 5 full quarters, no touchdowns.
God bless them.
Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan.
God bless them.
2 first ballot Hall of Famers. Kramer.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, how do you not? I don't even know. It's Thursday night football. It's quarterbacks and defenses. That's the answer to the question. We're going Dan Jones at 15-1 because that's a
crazy price.
He fits the model. Brock, again, I think with the way that Wink plays defense, there might be an opportunity or two for Brock Purdy to run. Hopefully he doesn't just dump it off, but we'll take Brock Purdy 20-1, and we'll also the Niners defense is comically mispriced. And I don't really want to play it, but the way that I've seen the ball bounce off of Saquon Barkley or someone 2 weeks now and just become this ridiculous interception.
Giants have yet to create a turnover. Is Thursday the night, Ryan?
Well, I'm working on it. Okay. That's why I got it in there. It's 50. It's 50-1.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great price.
I mean, it's 2 weeks in the season. You want to talk about regression. Small sample size,
ultimate regression.
You want to talk about small sample size. So yeah, Dan Jones 15-1, Giants defense 50-1. Purdy and Niners defense both 20-1. A lot of value there.
Hashtag value.
It was really hard to pass up Waller at 20-1, and that was just for the clip after Waller hits.
Something that you should have had, but you didn't have.
No.
All right, hey, that'll do it. We'll be back tomorrow night with the NFL Week 3 Picks podcast. Of course, sign up for our Patreon. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. Check us out on VSiN every Friday night, 9:00 Pacific. Alante, where can people check you out on SGPN?
Man, I'm doing a lot of writing. I'm doing a lot of podcasts. MLB, NBA coming up soon. I know camp's about to start. NFL, of course. I just got on with Munaf, who tried to chicken out of the MLB show today. So I see he didn't make it here. So yeah, I'm all over the place, man. XX Lante XX on Twitter as well.
Hell yeah, Terrell, where can people catch you?
Well, you can find me at @reallyreal__. I'm all over the network, people. I'm network wide. I'm everywhere. So you can catch me on the NFL Gambling Podcast, where I am 2-0 with first touchdown bets. Just stating out here, 2-0 first touchdown bets. So very much so. Come check us out at the NFL Gambling Podcast. Come to Death Row.
Oh man, great shout out to Death Row. Kramer.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, Second Money Green. He's Ryan.
Having a great time, Sean.
Kramer, let it ride.